This week is pretty exciting if you are a Warcraft 3 fan, because not only did we get a PTR update towards patch 3.5 on Tuesday, we now on Friday, 3 days later, got an update to that PTR, and Blizzard is changing a lot of the balance. In this video, I will present the changes, and in another video, I will give my opinion to it. So just that we're on the same page, here are the updates that are coming here on Friday, December 16. Keep in mind, everybody, everything that's mentioned here is on top of the changes they presented on Tuesday. So we will tell you the new update and what was reverted, and then we're gonna go through the entire patch log that we have now, which is update 1 and update 2 combined. In general, I want to say that a lot of this comes from the community. So the first good sign is that they listen to us. So shout out Blizzard for having open ears to the community. Update December 16. Changelog. All updates are subject to further change. Please keep in mind that some of these changes are more experimental than others. Tells me everything is up for discussion. We must feedback this because they are very responsive. Altar Heroes. On top of the increased gold for Tavern Heroes, Altar Heroes get buffed. Instead of 425 gold, Altar Heroes now cost 400 gold, makes them a little cheaper. Changes to Orcs. Reverting Headhunter's gold change from 160 to 140. The lumber increase stays. Blademaster mirror image damage increased from 10% to 25% of the Blademaster's base damage. This is a big buff to mirror image, as we learned that Critical Strike is working on mirror image, but the 10% is buffed from 25%. A new change. Troll Batrider Liquid Fire no longer prevents repairs, but now reduces the repair rate by 75%. Batriders with that upgrade could attack buildings and basically kill them if you're not there with the entire army, because it wasn't possible to repair. This has now been changed. It's just a very, very slow repair. Great Hall build time reduced from 150 seconds to 135. That is a buff by 15 seconds, so it's 15 seconds faster to build an expansion as Orc. This was something that a lot of people were asking for, especially the 4 semi-pros that we had on our town hall on Thursday. Blade Storm cooldown reduced from 3 minutes to 2 minutes. This is pretty much in line to the Potom ultimate that we've seen in the last update. All of the changes that are not mentioned here, but were mentioned in PTR 1, are still in there. Human. The siege engine was a big part of discussion because it was basically useless and very easy to kill. So they address this now. Siege engine armor changed from heavy to medium, so they won't take additional damage from magic attacks, but rather from normal attacks, and they take less damage, especially from piercing. They also do the same damage as before, so the damage nerf that they got before, as is what cut in half, is now back to the normal damage a siege tank has. Spellbreakers get addressed. A lot of people ask for this. In a previous patch, they got nerfed from 3 armor to 2. That is now back to 3 armor. This is a buff to Spellbreakers. Bloodmage Siphon mana cost reverted from 20 to 10. This was addressed in the previous PTR that this is just more expensive. The other values stay the same. It's just it costs less mana. Blacksmith gold reduced initially 60 now. It was 50 lumber on the first PTR. Now it's even down to 40 lumber. The Holy Light buff that they had on the first PTR was to make it faster from 5 seconds to 4 seconds on the cooldown. That is scratched. No buff to Holy Light anymore. But Animal war training that affects the HP of knights and also dragonhawks is now researchable on tier 2 instead of tier 3. You don't need the castle anymore for the HP buff to dragonhawks and griffins. Staff of Sanctuary, this is now item changes. Staff of Sanctuary is cheaper from 250 to 200, and Orb of Fire damage increased from +7 to +10. This is pretty much exactly what Remo was asking for. If that's good or not, I will tell you my perspective in another video, but feel free to post it in the comments if you like what you see, if you like these changes to the human race. As we move on to Night Elf, once again, I want to remind you, this goes on top of everything they wanted to do in the first PTR. Talon Crow form damage was initially changed from magic damage to piercing damage, which makes them very powerful against air and also very powerful to destroyers, which they can now attack for the first time. That was very powerful, and now the damage has been reduced from 34 to 26, a nerf by 8 base damage points. Also, immolation damage buffs reduced, but they do keep the cheaper mana cost, and they do keep the higher tick damage. So the damage per second of immolation is currently 20, 30, 40. Once again, if that's good or not, I will tell you in another video. Do you like these adjustments? Let us know. Undead. Ghoul Frenzy was initially supposed to add 30 HP onto the ghoul's hit point pool. That change has been scratched. No longer gives it on top of the movement speed and attack speed also HP buffs. But the Lich was addressed, specifically Nova. A tiny bit of a nerf, 10 damage, 20 damage, 20 damage on the Frost Nova damage. Currently on the PTR, it's 45, 90 and 140 or 135. It's not really clear. This seems to be wrong. It's even less apparently. Undead Expo, the Haunted Goldmine. The build time has been increased by 20 seconds. That is a nerf to Undead expansion by 20 seconds. On top of that, Death Knight's ultimate got changed before, that now the resurrected dead corpses are attackable and not invulnerable, but a big weakness of theirs was that they were dispellable. That is no longer the case. On top of the DK ultimate rework, they also get indispellability, and that will make a lot of people very happy, a lot of people very sad. Obsidian statue Spirit Touch mana, the replenishment of mana from a statue, reduced from 3 mana per target per cast to 2 mana per target per cast. Obsidian statues finally really nerfed? Question mark. This goes on top of the additional XP that they give since the PTR 1.35. Also, one of my biggest critiques on the first iteration of the PTR was that data was inconsistent between headhunters and berserkers, siege engines with or without barrage, and peasants and militia. This has been fixed. The disease cloud bug was fixed, so it's really only lasting 75 seconds now. Anti-magic shell is now partly dispellable. However, it's not dispellable from destroyers. If that's a bug or if that's intended, we don't know yet, but a lot of people were worried that anti-magic shell could ruin Undead Mirror. Destroyers can't dispel it. Might be intentional. And that is the update, everybody. Just in 3 days' time, they updated a lot. And in total, the balance changes, me and Don Dolare, we summed them up, we compiled them, and we sorted them. So real quick, let's go through all of the changes that we have currently on patch 1.35. Heroes. Altar heroes are cheaper. Tavern revives are more expensive. Human. Mass teleport, cooldown increased. Siphon mana drain rate reduced from 1530-45 to 1525-40. Blacksmith is cheaper. Peasants have more HP. This also goes for Militia now. Spellbreaker armor increased, but control magic removed from tier 2 to tier 3. So this is a buff and a nerf to Spellbreakers. Mortar team have more HP. Animal War Train is earlier to research. Sorceress, Polymorph costs are reduced. Siege Engine rework, but now with medium armor they can attack units. Their damage is unchanged as of now. Barrage still has the buff, and they are a level 4 unit whether you update Barrage or not. Staff is cheaper, Orb is cheaper, Mechanical Critter gets increased sight range. For the Night Elves, Keeper and Tangle shorter in duration, so that is a nerf. Thorns Aura buffed. Keeper Tranquility nerfed in cooldown, takes twice as long. Demon Hunter Immolation still very, very strong. They doubled the damage with this, and it's cheaper. Potom, Starfall cooldown shorter, mana cost shorter. So double buff to Starfall. Ultravision is only acquirable on tier 2 instead of tier 1. Talons have piercing damage. They do less damage now than they did before in their crow form with the piercing damage. Mountain Giants have +2 armor at the start, but hardened skin is weaker than it was before. Orcs Mirror Images do 25% damage off the Blade Master's base attack. Items not included. Critical Strike does work though. Bladestorm cooldown reduced by a minute. TC Endurance, Movement Speed Aura nerfed. Great Hall faster to build. Grunts with the Brute Strength upgrade 50 HP more. Headhunters lumber cost increased by 10. No gold cost increase, just the lumber cost. Heal Ward still twice as tanky. Stasis Trap still 2 seconds faster to activate. Bat Rider, as I said, you can repair Liquid Fire Bat Rider attacked buildings now, but the repair rate has been reduced. DK Ultimate can be killed. Half Disease Cloud can't be dispelled. Nova nerfed a bit. Haunted Goldmine nerfed. Statues double nerfed. Banshee Magic Shield nerfed. Disease Cloud nerfed. Items, Circlet still toggleable, but rebalanced to 1-1-2 from 2-2-2 per stat. Wand of Illusion only 3-2 charges. Wand of Mana Stealing still up to 75. So Wand of Illusion nerf, Wand of Mana buff, and the 2 movement speed auras have been nerfed accordingly as well. Those are all the changes currently on patch 1.35. Do you like what you see? Do you like the enhanced updates that they gave us? Or do you not like it? Little bit of a disclaimer. Of course, they fixed a lot of bugs. They also brought in some new bugs. Unfortunately, with these changes, we would love to run a tournament. We would love to test these. But Blizzard broke all items in the game. There's currently no item drops when you kill creeps. There's currently no tome drops, no rune drops, nothing. There's also no items available in the merchant. So that is unfortunately broken. Otherwise, we could have had an amazing weekend to play this new PTR together. Also, if you queue a unit, Samwise Didier appears as an icon. I posted this on Twitter. Hopefully you saw this already. If not, feel free to follow us on Twitter, where we get the where we are the fastest. This is currently what's happening. You queue a wisp and then Samwise appears to queue up or to fill up the queue. That is probably not intended. I had a good laugh seeing this, but the items are unfortunately a really big part of Warcraft, so that would be nice to be fixed. I'll be back with a lot of Warcraft 3 esports and my opinion on this patch. And then we see you guys here on the Back to Warcraft channel. Don't miss any updates. Ring the bell, subscribe to the channel. See you soon.